Hello and welcome to another game review by me, your boy. Just fair warning, just like the last review I did, this shit's gonna be raw as fuck. It's gonna be my personal opinion. I don't do any research about the game. I simply played the game, and you can watch me play it. And this is what I've gotten from, this is my opinion about the game. And first off, and yes, of course, I am just using the fucking PNG photos that I use for my fucking uh video. I'm lazy, leave me alone. But the game itself is how do I describe this? The game plays alright. I mean, it's definitely buggy. There are times whenever you're supposed to hit somebody, but it doesn't register. Uh, there are things when enemies are reflecting shit they really shouldn't be able to reflect, but you can't reflect it. I died multiple times of shooting a fucking Gauss cannon at them, and they just fucking reflected right back at me. The lightsaber combat though is fun against real people. But once again, it doesn't really. There's a lot of times that it doesn't connect and stuff like that. But it's just you know. But the gameplay itself, I guess I should say, is engaging in a way. The fact that they give you all these different weapons. You have force powers that you can use in the middle of combat. A lot of them are, most of them are force powers that are, well, I mean, yeah, they're pretty good force powers. Lightning, choke, and you have to heal, and you have protection. You have energy resistance, which resists energy. Uh, Stuff like let's see what else. Push, pull, speed, and sense. I like that they added speed in it because speed is something that a lot of games don't add. I mean, you see it in the first and in the prequel, the very first one, where they force speed, and that is like the one time they do it, and that's it, never again. Uh, let's see. Sense was also a pretty unique ability as well. It was able to allow them to have a more um puzzle, they could add puzzles in the game. I feel like they didn't do enough with it though, because there's very little puzzles that aren't, and even then, like, uh, I guess you don't come across them very often, so there's no real need to have it. I mean, other than that, since will like let you see where enemies are at, so you don't get ambushed. I of course never used it like that, but fuck it. um, Other than that, all the guns, the guns are cool and all. Like I'm glad that they included them. There's only one level where you actually have to use them, and but I mean, it's just one of those kind of like they only had that one level just so you could have a game where it was only guns. I mean, because in my opinion, like, I mean, like, everybody bought this game, let's be honest, everybody was like, I'm gonna be a fucking Jedi. Like, I'm gonna get a lightsaber, I'm gonna go kill people. It's gonna be fun. Uh, like I was saying earlier, the combat was pretty okay. Um, I mean, I enjoy it for what it is, because, and I just wish that like games nowadays kept that style but refined it over the years. And I feel like it would have been great nowadays. Like, I mean, how you could even have a Star Wars game that's based off the For Honor fighting system, and it would fucking sell like hotcakes. It's kind of ridiculous. Um, I will say though, I mean, dying in this game, this is probably one of the more realistic games when it comes to like lightsabers and shit like that. Because I mean, not everybody dies on one hit, but it's damn near like two, three hits and they're dead. Instead of like having to, really fucking um, swing for hours to kill something. So it makes sense. Um, Other than that, there is also the lightsaber, changing. How it changes. You can go from like fast, medium, heavy, and all of them will change how you swing. I mean, you also have like in the later levels where you can choose to go to a dual lightsaber like I did, or a Darth Maul style. And honestly, I think Darth Maul style is one of the more OP ones in this game, but I just prefer the two handers. I think it's more fun. All right, now we're gonna get on to design. So the game design itself, it's kind of rough, in my opinion. I mean, it's good when it comes to lightsaber colors. They did good on that. The character creation, on the other hand, is ugh. I mean, there's not much options when it comes to creating a character. I made my girlfriend create my character, and but even then, like it's like they made four different outfits for each race, male or female, and they were like, okay, well, from these four outfits, this is all you get to choose from. Um, I do like this game's planet design for a couple of the places. I mean, Tatooine is Tatooine, of course, but it's also a rare game that lets you go to Coruscant and do stuff there. And then they also added their own planets, like here and there, like the Sandworm planet. I don't think I've ever heard that planet except for in this one game. Uh, there's plenty others. I think the level where you have to go and the Vader's old hideout is from a book, I believe, or some shit. I don't know. I mean, I would think it'd be from a book, because Luke Skywalker mentions it and says that he went there once, or some shit like that. So I'm pretty sure that they took that from a book and made that that background. Other than that, though, yeah, lightsaber hilts, and they're pretty cool. Uh, the firebrand, like I said, that's a lightsaber hilt I always love to use. And then you got the arbitrator or whatever the fuck it is, I think. And the rest of them are all good, but it's all like really some of them look good, some of them don't look good, at least to me. I mean, obviously you guys probably have different opinions, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about design. All the levels were designed pretty well. They added a couple cool planets. Uh, the levels themselves, some of the levels didn't feel huge. I mean, others were pretty big, like massive for some reason. Uh, like all the almost like both Tatooine levels that you get are really, in my opinion, especially the recovering the droid. That motherfucker is a little too big. And I think the other Tatooine though one is more um windy, like kind of going in on itself, and I don't think it's actually huge, but more like you're constantly having to move like between all these like different rooms. Uh, but yeah, no, the design was okay. I couldn't tell you. I don't like. Obviously, the graphics themselves do not hold up to now. They don't. Like, there's no way in hell they do. Uh, and the voice acting was not great. Uh, but yeah. All right. Now we're getting on to more of plot purposes. So the plot of the game is it's pretty simple ish. So you're a dude or a girl who was chilling at home, built a lightsaber, said, haha, that's pretty cool. And Jedi are like, oh shit, this motherfucker built a lightsaber. How they found out doesn't say. Uh, I guess he showed it off, or your character shows it off to people. It's like, look what I fucking made. I'm a Jedi now, motherfuckers. And then he gets captured by the Jedi. Or I mean, my bad. I mean that way. Uh, but found by the Jedi and invite him. Um, you get there. There's an attack on the academy, and they blow your ship up. You get off the ship. You survive. You and somebody else. Uh, you don't know anything about any of the other students that were on there. It's just you and another dude that are there, which his name is Rosh. Yeah, you go through the level, you find that the Sith are attacking, and then you get training. You get all of like fucking. I think even if I were to give it generous time in the game, it'd probably be about a week of training. And they're like, all right, let's start sending these motherfuckers out on missions. And even though you're supposed to be sent out on a mission that are easy, and he's like, don't worry, your master is Kyle Katarn. Pretty cool dude. I think he has the best voice acting in the game, honestly. But he gets tells him he'll be with you on every mission, and then one of the first missions I did was the worm planet, and you're fucking by yourself. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Uh, yeah, I mean, so you get through the game, you get through all the little side missions, which are all basically planets that you use to unlock new abilities, and it even gives you an option to just fucking go straight through and fucking like after like the fourth mission, instead of doing the final mission in the arc, you can just continue on to the main story. Uh, but if you do that, you're missing out on force usage. Uh, anyway, the second part is you go in the Hoth because they found out he took his uh they took Luke's star maps or whatever, and they go to Hoth and you stop them from stealing, but you don't stop because you're still just a Padawan with literally a week of training and maybe a month of doing missions generously. And then turns out your buddy goes missing. Who would have thought that the guy you landed with would end up becoming Dark Side, because he does become Dark Side. And then eventually, you fucking go through a couple more missions, and then you get to the point where you find your fucking friend. And while everyone else is attacking the fucking main Sith stronghold base, you show up to fucking help your buddy. And that's whenever this is the one part of the game that makes me happy, is the fact that they do give you an option of light side and dark side. Because if you kill Rosh, then you become evil, which is just cheesy as fuck. It is. A motherfucker goes from like you know oh, the motherfucker goes from I have a right to be angry to I'm just an edgy piece of shit now, just like on the flip of a switch. Like it's fucking ridiculous. But but if you can on it like you're supposed to canonly, you choose good. He gets his Rosh still gets his arm cut off, and you have to fight. And either way, no matter what, you have to fight the Sith apprentice that you fucking came across in on the Hoth. So you go through, and after you beat her, you keep going. You go to fucking Korriban, which is the first time I ever heard the planet was from this game. And I always thought the Korriban was cool. It's the Sith home world. Anyway, you get there, you have to go through like a temple, and this is like every enemy is a fucking like is a Sith, And if you chose the Jedi, if you chose the evil portion, every enemy is a Sith and a Jedi. So if you choose evil, you're really just making the game harder on yourself. Uh, I will say that the boss fight I think is easiest whenever you choose evil. You never have to face Luke Skywalker though. You just fucking you choose good. Fight the final boss, which is some bitch that Kyle Katarn knows from his past. If you choose good, well, I say, well, if you choose good, you have to fight that boss, and you also have to fight Magna Ragnar or whatever fuck's his name, Magna Ragnos, which is an old Sith Lord. He's one of the more legendary ones too, like from the ancient Sith. Um, he's mentioned in a couple of games. I really need to look up into that because I've never really looked into why he's known. So I just know he's strong. Anyway, but if you choose evil, you don't have to fight that guy. In fact, you kill the fucking lady from Kyle Katarn's past, and Kyle Katarn's like, "Well, I'm gonna stop you," and then you know you fucking dip off and say, "Eat shit, bitch." After getting beaten, you like run through a hole in the wall and you escape, and that's the end. Uh, so anyway, the plot, all in all, is as I kind of sort of described, as patchy as I did and kind of skimmed over shit, is not the greatest plot in the world. It's very cheesy with a lot of the things it does, but I mean, it's a Star Wars game. Uh, and as a kid, I thought it was good. I thought the plot was pretty decent. As an adult playing through it again now, not so much. All right, now let's really go getting more into the characters, right? So your main character, as I was explaining earlier, made a lightsaber, got abducted, or met up with the Jedi, gets a week of training, goes through a fuck ton of missions, and then somehow ends up with Jedi Master by the end of like 3 months. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of it. Never hear about him again. Uh, Character learns a bunch of different Force powers, and it doesn't matter. You can choose good or evil. That doesn't mean shit. Now you have Rosh, which is just a shit character. Like, I mean, I think his fit's pretty good looking for a Star Wars universe, but he's just an absolute shit character. In the beginning, he tries to kill you by accident, quotation, because he's jealous of you and he's trying to slow you down so he can win the training course before you do, even though it's not a competition. And then you got, and then he betrays you, and he's like fucking, he's like, I joined the dark side, and he's obviously there because he wants to be there, and then fucking like, you know, the next time you see him, he's like, I was just scared. I was just scared. Like, motherfucker, like, you obviously weren't. Because I have to kill those two dudes you're with before, I kill you whenever I have you as a boss fight. And you still fight me afterwards. Uh, anyway, I mean, he's just not a good supporting character whatsoever. And we here we got the GOAT, Kyle Katarn. He's your Jedi Master, yours and Rosh's Master. He's got the best voice acting. Uh, he's always there coming to clutch, as you can see, while you're digging a hole in the floor. He's having to hold up the fucking entire roof. He ends up being the final boss if you choose evil. Uh, and he's like constantly on the lookout for you guys. He's actually pretty cool because he used to work for the Empire, and I think he was just a regular Sith officer. He was an Imperial officer at one point. And I don't know what happened. I don't really look back into his background that much, but I know that he betrays the Empire and joins Luke. Uh, and then you get Luke Skywalker, and his voice acting isn't too bad, but he's really a background character in this game. And he like comes in, he's like, I have a mission. Here's some more, monologue, lore drop. I'm in charge, but I'm not really gonna do anything. I'm just always here in the background. I mean, they made his character look, very Luke-like, but the way he looks makes me think that this has to be like no more than 5 or 6 years after fucking the fall of Vader and everything. All right, now let's get to some enemies. So most of the units in this game are going to be uh, stormtroopers holding guns, pew pewing at you. Okay, you're gonna have like a robot here and there with fucking lights, like a training saber. You're gonna have like floating droids that like one of those like interrogation droids that Princess Leia got used on. Uh, and you're gonna have Sith apprentices, which are just usually it's a dickhead with a single saber, or it's a dickhead who doesn't have a saber at all and just uses the force specifically, like choking, pushing, pulling, electricity, those type of things. I mean, you have the regular Sith, which I don't even know what they're called in this game really. Should we call them Sith Knights? Uh, they're they can have one lightsaber as well, or they can have two lightsabers. I've even seen one with three lightsabers, and those guys are significantly more harder, and they're a pain in the asshole, and they're usually like in red clothing. And then every once in a while, I've seen one in blue clothing too, which I think is like an elite Sith Knight. I mean, you got the Sith Masters who are just head to toe fucking like more of a dark orange brown. These guys can have any sabers, and they're fucking they hurt. They're very hurtful. You don't want to fight them without cheesing the shit out of it like I do. Uh, anyway, and so the bosses in this game, they're like right there in the picture. Is that Twi'lek with the double sabers? I forget her name, but you have to fight her twice in the series. She is well, she a bad bitch. She looks good, but she bad. And her first fight isn't hard at all. You just kick her around, stab her, call it a day. Second fight, on the other hand, um, I didn't have an issue with her when I chose the light side option. But when I killed Rosh, That bitch fucked me up. Like, I mean, really whooped my ass. She uses two lightsabers. She don't use much force. I think she uses lightning. I think she might choke every once in a while. But I mean, I think she might force rage as well. Yeah, she may, but she isn't too difficult. Rosh was another fucking final boss fight. I mean, that entire boss fight was a little weird in the way it was done. So basically, he kept getting healed and protected because he had two Sith masters that were behind him that were like fucking keeping him protected. So you had to kill the Sith masters, and the Sith masters didn't have a lightsaber, but they had force powers, and they'd fuck you up too. So you had to fucking like fight like three people for that boss fight, and it was annoying as shit. And then the final boss, Tavion, is uh is a bad bitch. Uh, and she's not a difficult fight either. They really just hopping around while she's shooting a big ass laser from the scepter, and she's got a single lightsaber as well. Uh, and she really just ain't shit as a boss. Even when Marco Ragnos, possesses her, she ain't shit. She ain't nothing but a bitch. She looks good though. I think she definitely looks one of the better looking villains. Just her outfit is really good and dope in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna give this game a total of 5 out of 7 lightsabers. My main thing is because of two reasons is why I give it automatically a 3. I mean, the other two are earned from the game itself for being for its combat and being innovative. But the first thing I give one or two of those lightsabers for is simply nostalgia. I'm sorry. As a kid, this game was dope. It has a special place in my memory, so I'm automatically going to give it up, at least a +1 or 2 to it, just simply for nostalgia. And then give it another plus because this game has a special place in his heart, so special that like that lightsaber hilt. I gave my character the last name after this hilt because it was the hilt that I would always choose, which is the Firebrand hilt. It's a very dope hilt in my opinion. My favorite one. I don't know why. It's just, it's simple as fuck. It just looks good to me. Uh, but yeah, no. Other than that, though, the rest of the lightsabers are earned from straight up fucking just innovative combat. Even though it was buggy and everything, I enjoyed the direction they were going with it. I enjoyed the different worlds that it added to Star Wars universe. I enjoyed most of the Force powers. This game also had very many exploits that you could cheese it in. So if you were having a rough time, there was, like for example, if you're fighting off like a Sith master and you're getting your ass kicked non-stop to him, you could just fucking pull out a force choke and throw that motherfucker off a cliff. Call it a day. uh, anyway, that's my review for Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. I hope to see y'all later and enjoy the videos I make.